still no people coming. We should turn that into 14 hours of ASMR. I'm not gonna actually be on my live, but come support my channel and look at pictures.
John Wicks just came in. Hey, it's that female.
John, what's going on?
I'm gonna put it into that 55.
Like I can't even see that. Something high. The kid's gonna have to read it. I can't see it.
Yeah, just had to drive out here.
Ugh, that means I'm gonna have to move. Yeah, man, we just posted that for a minute. We got a bunch of other stuff, but the internet here is straight dog shit. So once we're able to get back home and take some time editing, we'll get some better stuff posted. That guy, how are you doing, man? Appreciate you stopping by. It was a good day. We met some really cool people. We got to shoot some really expensive stuff. We got to stump. Nothing better than talking to owners of companies and asking questions and having them go, I don't know. That's a good question. So that was cool. It was hot, dude. I would have liked to have stayed longer. I think it ended at like 4 or 5 o'clock, but we were out of there by 2. It was hot. I was overheated. The kid was overheated. So it was a good time to go. Big O, what's going on? That's my carry knife, man. It's a knife I carry when I don't want to lose a nice knife. It's a CRKT, nothing fancy, serrated blade. A friend of mine gave me that years ago. 107 out there. Yeah, I believe it, man. It's fucking hot. It was hot and humid, but you know, we met with not a sponsor, hung out with him for quite a while. Force fed him some cookies. It's funny. He met us to give us something afterwards. We left before he did, and we met up with him later, and we were getting some food. And a guy was at Subway. He's like, "Man, I wanted a cookie." I'm like, "I'll get 2." He goes, "Well, you get 2 for the same price." I'm like, "All right, well, I want 2, and the kid wants 2." And then now the sponsor's like, "Well, I would always get 2." So I ate one of my cookies, and Gage ate one of his cookies, and we're like, "Here you go, not a sponsor." He's like, No, one enough for me." We're like, nope, you just said you'd eat 2, so eat 2 cookies. He argued and resisted, and ultimately, at the end of the day, he ate 2 cookies.
Yeah,
so
for like 5-6 minutes, he was fighting us.
So I feel better about myself because we got to bully him into eating cookies. You carry an overpriced bug out knife? What kind of knife do you carry? Don't even say the winter word. That's sacrilege, dude. That's like, yeah. Don't talk about winter, man. That's granted. It's hot. You know, I don't know if we're gonna hit another record year. Sunday we're gonna hit Waffle House. So rather than going home on Sunday like we were going to, tomorrow at some point we're gonna break out of Ohio, and we're gonna head east to Gettysburg. So we're gonna go spend some time in Gettysburg before we come home. I know there's a Waffle House on the way, so we'll hit that at some point. I'm not exactly sure when or where, but we will hit Waffle House. So my guess would be probably on Sunday. But I mean, we're not like an hour away from Gettysburg. It's still 5 hours, but it was 8 hours here, and it's another 5 hours there. And I don't have to be back to work for a week. So rather than going home, we'll go to Gettysburg. It would be way cooler if like we could go on the 4th, right? But but it's still going to be cool. That's actually been a bucket list item. There's been a bunch of times that I've wanted to go there and it just hasn't worked. The Bug Out Mini Adams $100 knife that cost almost $400. Bug Out logo adds $300 to the retail price. You know, for that kind of money, it should give a guy a read around.
Same with all the tolls on the way here.
Yeah, the toll booths. I can't believe tolls, man. You know, in Wisconsin, you know, land of cheese, beer, brats,
Speaking of,
and airplanes, we don't have toll booths. And so that whole drive 10 minutes, stop and have to pay a toll booth, that's gay. That's gayer than driving an F-150. But, and it was some really, really cool shit. I think tomorrow I'll get the actual model numbers, but we shot a bunch of Phoenix Trinity pistols. And them were spot on, dude. I like them. Now, granted, it's, you know, a $6,000-$7,000 gun. Their entry one starts at like $4,500, so the same price as a Staccato, but they get up there. They are a scam. You know, if you're gonna charge me for a toll, right? Number one, all lanes of traffic should be open. Period. Right? Or don't charge me full price, you know? Two, if you're gonna charge me for a toll, it should be like the fucking Autobahn. I should be able to do 130 down the road and not even have to worry about a cop, you know? But no, they got rules and laws, and you can't be doing 50 over the speed limit because that's suddenly a criminal offense. I mean, all the fun stuff is like, you ever notice it's the fun police? If you're laughing and having fun, the more fun you're having and the more you're laughing, the more illegal it is.
or more likely it is to be illegal.
Or more likely it is to be illegal. Just think about that. Some of the most fun times we've all had in our life were probably felonies. at least for me, you know. Maybe for me, but yeah, we shot some really cool shit. We got to go tomorrow. We got some stuff that some manufacturers are going to give us. We also have. I'm not even going to talk about, but we had an chance to meet Shaw. Let me get his name here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Shaw barrels. They're custom barrels. They've been around forever. J-Dog,
Believe it, the third generation.
how are you doing? So, we met Josh Schuzer. Probably said that name wrong, but he's the third generation running this company. And we started talking with him this morning, and he's one of the guys that I was able to stump on questions. You know, and it's a good thing when you got a small family-owned business and the guy's been doing it for generations, and you start asking questions and they don't know the answer. But we had some really, really interesting conversations with him. And when we were walking away, he called me back over to him, and we talked a little bit more. So I look forward to that coming to fruition. Was that the PP 19 in your video? That AK looking thing, that's the new one. I was trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head. It starts with an S. It's like Stritzog or Stritzbog. It's the it's a rotary drum magazine, like a direct copy of what the Russians were using their Spetsnaz. It was an interesting firearm. For a collector purpose, if you guys are better, no, it wasn't a Stribog. We did shoot a Stribog today. I was a little disappointed in it because I really want one of them. First time I had a chance to shoot one. So let me back up. Something about firearms, and John, you know this, right? just because you like a firearm, just because you like the way it looks, it feels, the features, it doesn't mean that you're going to shoot that gun well. You know, a person can pick up guns that they maybe don't even care for, and they can shoot them extremely well. And that's what matters. It's a firearm. It's a tool. If it doesn't perform for you, then it's worthless. The Stribog, for me, as much as I want one and wanted one, I was not accurate with that rifle at all, that carbine. Now, it could have been me, it could have been the Zero, it could have been a lot of things, but after I shot it, I don't know that I would buy one. And there was nothing about the gun. The gun ran, it functioned, it felt good, it looked cool, but for me, it didn't connect. My kid, he shot it okay, but it just isn't for me. So we played with it, and it could be, like I said, it could be the Zero, it could be whatever. What's up, Yukon Bob? So we got done with GunCon a little bit ago, the range day. Tomorrow we got the actual show day, but the Trinity pistols, them things are spot on too. It was a very easy firearm to shoot. And like I said, we got a bunch of footage and stuff. We got a bunch of footage of the kids shooting it. I don't know if I'll post his videos on the channel. We might let him post them on his. Trying to put these Magpul steel flip-up irons on my Deagle to range bait people. Well, make sure if you do put them on, number one, each sight should be rotated 180 degrees, so you're looking at the back, or you're looking at the front, you know, so the rear sight would be 180 degrees, looking at the rear of it. Yeah, you'd be looking at the front. And you should also put the rear sight in front towards the muzzle end. So rotate them 180 degrees, put them to then. I don't know which one you're talking about. The one on the left, yeah, that's 357 Glock. That's prototype. One of a kind. It's made out of porcelain. It's heat-seeking projectiles and stuff. We did get to shoot a 338 Blackout. I think that's what it was, 338 Blackout. That was impressive too. That was a very interesting firearm. But like I said, we can't upload anything here. I need to get more information tomorrow, what we actually shot. Appreciate you, J-Dog. That's always helpful. We put that stuff to good use. I don't know if I've ever told you, but when we get donations on the channel, that doesn't go in my pocket. I don't go buy firearms. I don't go buy tires for my F-150. I don't buy any loot. What I do is I just take the kids shooting more. You know, it helps. It helps with ammunition and match fees. So, I mean, ultimately they're going to shoot either way, but it does allow people to shoot more. So, but yeah, man, there was some really cool stuff. So we had a chance to shoot the 43X ramjet from Radiant Arms. That's an interesting creation too. I'm gonna definitely have to be getting one of them. There's also some companies, I don't even think we got a sticker, but they make gas pedals, primarily for Glocks. They replace the trigger pin on it. Weston Pebbles, what's going on, man? How are you doing? So y'all be sure to double tap that screen for me too, if you would. That stuff always helps. But the gas pedals were kind of cool. And you know, it's interesting as I'm talking to these people today, and I'm left-handed, you know, showing me guns with gas pedals, and it's really cool. And the kid liked it, and he shot them well. But I'm like, what about the left-handed guys? You know, what am I supposed to do? And, you know,
First thing he said was, "They're on the wrong side."
Yeah, they're on the wrong side. Sorry about your luck, bud.
I asked if they were gas pedals, and before saying that it's cool or anything, he said they were on the wrong side.
Yeah, so the guy did tell me, and like I said, I don't have the information in front of me. I should have more, but we kind of just figured we'd do a update more or less. But he did tell me they got some coming for the Gen 5 Glocks that will be for left-handed shooters, so they'll be on the right side of the firearm, which will be cool. You know, my kid picked it up, and you know, he shoots Glocks okay, but he shot them well. It was definitely a benefit there. The Radian Ramjet, that really made a Glock 43X nice.
Yeah.
We got some footage of some Glock slides and stuff, but I'm gonna hold out. I don't know if we're gonna show that. I may privately send that to Stifler, because if I'm gonna show custom Glock slides on the channel, which is gonna happen, I would rather do his first. So that's just me. That's just because the dude's on here. He not only supports me and my lives and everything, but he supports everybody else. I've seen him in J-Dogs. I've seen him in Not a Sponsors. I've seen him in everybody's stuff. So I would rather connect with him first on that. Otherwise, I'd feel kind of like, I don't want to say shitty or sleazy, because it is what it is, right? But I would rather give him an opportunity or a fair review first. So Stifler, if you're watching, so we had a chance to talk to High Point. This was an interesting conversation. We had a chance to shoot both their ARs, their pistol length and their rifle length, and they worked. They ran, they cycled, they connected with a target at 100 yards. We had a chance to talk with them about their pistols. We had a chance to shoot some of their pistols suppressed, which was interesting. And we also had a chance to talk to them about making a race gun. And we hit them up about some double stacked models coming out. And he said, I can't confirm or deny it. We talked for a while, and I told him how I was pressuring Stifler into making a race High Point. And the dude's like, I'm on board with that. He goes, I like the idea.
Yeah, even more reason for Stifler to make it.
Yeah, so even more Stifler.
Even High Point agrees.
Even High Point agrees that that would be a fantastic product. The High Point ARs, obviously, you know, we don't know if we were looking at, you know, the best of the best or whatever else, but they looked good. The finish looked good. The fitment looked good. I really like the forearm. They have really nice forearms on them. No, it's 38 special. So I think, you know, one of the things that we talked about, and it's where Stifler comes in, is the material they use on their slides. It's strong until it isn't, right? So it's a cast part, but once you start drilling into it and doing things, it creates weak spots and they fail. A aftermarket manufacturer that would have the ability to mill out a slide from solid bar stock, that gives you the opportunity then to start adding ports and shit. So I will say they had good triggers in them. You know, the ARs, they were a mil spec trigger, nothing fancy there. Their carbine was a 998. I think it's a 998 carbine. It's their regular carbine, but it's cut off and there's a brace put on it. That had actually a pretty decent trigger. Weston, how are you doing? I've already answered you unless you thought I missed that. It's a 38 special. I'm not trying to blow you off or nothing, so I do see you and I appreciate you being here. Oh, you might be lagging behind. I'm sorry.
Because before he'd asked how you were doing and you answered him and then you asked again.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand, like, when we do lives, there's always a delay. I think it's usually about 35, 45 seconds, somewhere in there, from the time I see your message till I actually respond. That's why when you guys are in lives and you're asking people questions, it always takes them a while to get to it. It's not even that they're necessarily reading comments before yours or after yours or whatever. It's that there's a delay. So your questions come in like instantly, but my feed takes back. Jamal Ahmed, I'm from Saudi Arabia. I want to ask you about HS9 subcompactor Glock, which is the best. I've never fired the HS9 So I couldn't tell you what's better between the two. The farthest I've ever shot with the Barrett has been 600 yards. I would like to go further. We just haven't. Orange Smoke, what's going on? Weston, good. I had to go get my glasses and stepmom. She was cleaning. Okay, that's fine. I was like 2 minutes behind. Yeah, that's all right, man. So Orange Smoke, it's funny. We're in Ohio, and we went to Walmart. We were looking for something to eat, and we're walking around. I'm like, I wonder. And so we were over by the sausages, and we're like, even Ohio recognizes the fact that Johnsonville brats are the best because that's all they stocked. Just saying. So, I'm driving home from work. That's good. You're leaving tomorrow, I think you said? You're not leaving yet tonight? Yeah, so the High Point 2 is interesting. I asked them about pricing, right? I think they were, when they first were announced, they were saying they were going to be around 400 or something, maybe a little bit more. But he said realistically, they're going to be hitting the streets for about $500.
Yeah, if you don't believe us, I have a picture.
Yeah, kiddo took a picture of the Johnsonville. We were going to send that to you, and I thought, no, that would just be being facetious. I didn't want to be that way.
But seeing as how you jumped on the live.
But obviously, you know, it was a Creators Day, so a lot of the big YouTube channels were fake. Yep, fake gun, you got me. That picture looks like my ex's DMs. The sausage picture? Absolutely. Sausage. We love sausage. Yep, bro flexing with fake guns, you got me. See, it's funny because you're talking out your ass and it would take you literally 2 seconds to look at the channel and realize it's all a flex. Yep, you got me. It's funny. Everybody's laughing at you for being a dumbass. Ohio is a little gay. It's pretty though.
Yeah.
Like that range, it was an hour from Cleveland, but it was like way out in the middle of nowhere. It was really, really kind of a cool little jaunt. Impressive. We spent a little time yesterday just trolling around in Cleveland, and we didn't like get into it or nothing, but it was not what I was expecting. So like in Wisconsin, all the really big cities, they're, what's the word I want to use? That the diversity is kind of one-sided. The demographic, that's the word I was looking for, the demographic. Yeah, we were talking about Cleveland, but it wasn't what I expected. It was interesting. Seemed like a pretty cool place. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was just where we were. We weren't enough of a shithole. Jay Sharp, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Yeah, but we drove there. We shot. It was a really cool range. We got some good footage of that. Like I said, when we get home, whenever that is. I mean, it'll be a few days yet. We're gonna hit Gettysburg first for sure. But we'll get some footage of that. We'll get some more footage tomorrow of the actual show. Don't touch the knife, absolutely. But what kind of knife is that? It's a CRKT. I don't know the model. It was a gift a while back. I carry that. I actually have two of them identical. I carry them when I'm not going to be broken heart if I lose it. I don't want to lose it, but I've lost a lot of knives. Yeah, no, we're not changing subjects. Yeah, I mean, if you want to send me an HS6, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I do have some of the the VHS rifle, the VHS2. That's made by the same company, so I do like that. Yes, sir. I was a little surprised Like, there was a lot of vendors, or not vendors, manufacturers, but some of the people that you would have thought would have been there weren't. But these are all companies that are solid, and they're like giving back. So that was really cool, man. Yeah, Neil, that's a Gen 5 Glock 26. I'm good, man. We had a good day. It was hot. I would like to have stayed longer, but I was at my limit. And you'll see in the footage we post later in the week with Gage and shit, he was just absolutely drenched. And he's like, no, I'm good. But his skin was getting blotchy, and it's like, no,
blotchy because of how it's burning.
no, we're hot, we're overheated. We shot some really cool stuff. Everyone watching it, yeah, I appreciate you. We'll do this. There you go. We'll pin ya, J-Dog. But it was cool talking with the guys too, and different things that they're seeing and they got coming. And there's a lot of innovation. Like, the firearms market is weird, where you'll get a lot of innovation from a lot of companies, but they kind of all innovate on similar products, and then the market will go stale. Companies will stop bringing stuff to the table, and stop pushing the boundaries. And even just like small parts, like I'm saying, like the gas pedals for Glocks that replace the trigger pin. Simple product, they're not very expensive, but it's innovative. There's nobody else doing that yet. So it's cool to see these people stepping up. It's cool to see all the people that are stepping up to support a Glock 43X. That's a gun that we have, and I haven't been impressed with it. The ones we shot today were actually pretty fucking cool. They gave me a little chub for sure. Twisty Gun, what's going on with you, man? How are you doing? Yeah, so there wasn't any actual Glock clones out there today. There was a lot of Glocks, a lot of SIGs, a lot of Caniks, some High Points, some Rugers, but nothing really Glock clones. We did shoot today some Caniks, and my initial impression about Canik has not changed. I don't see the value there. There was nothing there that other companies for less money aren't putting out, or even for same money, you're not getting more somewhere else. I will say before people think I'm hating or bashing, that they did have really nice triggers. The triggers were decent. So I can't take that away from them. That would be a lie. But I still would advise against somebody buying one. There's other options. Not much, brother. Yeah, so what was the gun in your short? I gotta look it up. I forget what it's called. It's an AK, starts with an E. It's like Stribog or Stortzbog, or it's a AK-9 with a rotary drum magazine that's fed from the bottom. There's a company making them, and I couldn't remember what the name of it was, and I should have looked it up, but I was actually hoping somebody in the comments would tell me what it is. So you guys do a little research and throw it in there. It was an interesting firearm for a left-handed shooter. I was getting burnt with the brass on my neck, my right neck. For obviously right-handed shooters, it wouldn't be an issue. It was interesting though. It was definitely interesting. All right, Orange Smoke, you take care, man. You have a good trip. Stay safe. Don't fall out of the boat. Watch out for alligators, because you may not think it's a thing, but it's a thing, man. And while you're here in Wisconsin, enjoy the cheese, the beer, the brats. For sure, the brats.
Yeah.
But you let me know how your trip went. I hope you success on your fishing. I hope you catch your limits. What gun parts would any of you like a company to build we're going to be on the future making some stuff. CRV components, that's a 26, a Gen 5 26. So after shooting the 43X today with the Radian Ramjet, I would like to see them step up to a 26 with the comp. I'm not sure where the market would be, but it was an interesting take. We did try the Caniks. I was not impressed with the Caniks. For me, gas pedals that like replace the slide stop on the right side of the firearm versus a standard, right-handed configuration would be really cool. That would be neat. For me, that would be something that would have value. Gage, what kind of things would you like to see come to market?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people like the Meta MC9, and I'm not bashing them or anything else, but from my experience with the firearms I've fired, I saw no real value in the Canik platform. They didn't offer anything that others aren't doing and aren't doing better.
Or
cheaper. Depending on how you want to base your criteria there. Value for dollar or just straight up performance or whatever. But I do see that they're hitting a niche for a market, especially with like the Meta there. So I can see why people would buy it. Weston Pebbles, what do you have in mind? I try when people ask to see things, we try to do it. It may not always be like short term, but we will definitely consider it. As long as it's not like, I don't know. There's limits. You want me to do something weird, you gotta pay. Everybody's gotta pay. $20 is $20. I'm looking for ideas. We will be making stuff for older guns for sure. Yeah, off the top of my head, it'd be hard to sit here and rattle stuff off. I guarantee later on or on the drive, I'll be thinking about that. But there's a lot of stuff out there that would, or people could use, and some of it's as simple as pins and screws. I don't know. Like I said, it would be something that would really make me have to think. One product that I really like that's discontinued now, and it's because I'm left-handed, was DPMS Arms used to make a bolt release that was extended. It not only came out from the firearm, but it was like a Z-shaped, and so a left-handed shooter could use that. And I used to buy them and put them on every rifle I had. They were cheap, but that's a part that's been discontinued for years. Nobody makes them anymore because the only people that really had an interest in it was left-handed shooters. That would be really cool to see. Maybe something like a CZ Scorpion with a short throw safety. That would be a really cool product to see. It's going good, man. We had a good day. We made it there. We made it home. There was a lot of really cool people there. A lot of cool people to interact with. We met a lot of cool people. We hooked up with not a sponsor. We hung out with him quite a bit today. He's a pretty solid guy. I give him more respect right now than I did, and I thought highly of him before, but he's a good dude. If you guys haven't shown him any support, man, get on there. He's a really cool dude. Really cool dude. That's about all I can say about that. Really, really cool dude. Soft-spoken. Got one of them like auras around a person that's just a warm, just one of them people that is upbeat, soft-spoken, generally a good dude. I will, maybe when we get home, and if I don't do it like soon, remind me in a video or a short or a live or something. I'll take some pictures of that. So that was a really cool product. I don't even think they cost $20 back in the day. They were very affordable. Another cool thing would be, and you see everybody wrapping like goon tape on their AR forearms now because they get hot. You have an aluminum handguard, it gets hot. Troy Industries, they used to have their Alpha Battle Royal. They still sell them, but they'd have rubber inserts. It would be cool with a more modern style rifle that maybe you didn't have inserts. You could just have a soft molded area that was heat resistant, a rubbery type texture. Stuff like that would be pretty cool. That would be innovative, kind of away from what other people are thinking. We shot them, and tomorrow we will have one. That was something, I wasn't going to bring it up, but it's something that we will be receiving. Now, them were a little interested, and I started talking to the guy, and he was showing me the different ways to carry it. He was showing us the ways that it works, that it clamshells the pistol, that it clamps onto it and it releases. He had some really cool versions. He had one ambidextrous version that comes with two different cheek sections, so one's left-handed, one's right-handed, and they were really cool. Being left-handed, some of it was more usable than others, and we were asked which one I liked, and we told him, and he's like, I can do that, I'll give it to you. So we will meet with him tomorrow. But it was interesting. He had a Glock 44 in one of them, so it was a 22 caliber Glock, and that was actually a lot of fun to shoot. I'm not gonna bullshit you on that. That was fun. The way they carry them and the way they fold and stuff was actually kind of impressive too. Again, for me, left-handed, they all folded the wrong way, but I'll tell you, I'll be honest, there's definitely a place for something like that to have. It was very easy to shoot accurately. I think the furthest steel they had set up was a 50-yard steel. It was a standard USPSA silhouette target, and it was easy to make your hits with that. I missed part of your stuff, Weston. Let me scroll back here. Gage, scroll back, and I missed whatever Weston was asking. Do you do video requests? I see that. And then we get, or any animal. I'm not sure what you're asking there, man. There's something that didn't go through. If you're asking if I'll do any animal, no, because it's illegal. I'm not sure what you mean by do any animal. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. We met Pistol Pete. We met Pistol Pete. That was a interesting experience. I kind of creeped up on him and gave him a full side embrace. I mean, he got a little weird, like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, well, clearly you don't watch my channel. And we chatted for a while. He's an interesting guy. Something that I figured out today, and I hope you guys realize this, is people that are on YouTube and we're sharing our stuff, for the most part, everybody's who they are. How they're acting is kind of who they are in person. I'm not sure what you're asking. I've seen videos of people doing it. Of people doing what? I'm not sure what you're asking, Weston. Like I said, I saw your comment of do you do video requests, and then you said or any animal, and then I seen videos of people doing it. So I'm not sure what you're asking there. Yeah, Pistol Pete was cool. We should have probably hung out a little bit more and chatted. We got to understand, like, all these vendors are first come, first serve, so everybody kind of made a mad dash. So, like, tried to squeak into the places that you wanted to first. We got there a little early, and we actually started shaking these vendors down as they were setting up. Which gun has the most accuracy killing a bear? Accuracy is dependent on a lot of things. The cartridge you're using, the barrel you're using, the platform you're using. So maybe you're asking which firearm will kill a bear the best. So if I gave you an opinion of which gun would be best for bear, that would be just my opinion. I have nothing to support it or back it up. I've never bear hunted. I've never bear hunted with a pistol. Orange Smoke, he was in here earlier. Check out his channel. Ask him that question because he does bear hunt, and he has bear hunted with pistol. Or let me come back here. I'm trying to think. Let me go back. Let's see. Yukon Bob, I think he's a bear hunter as well. Ammo Alchemist, well, how are you doing, sir? Chanson, how are you doing, man? What's shaking with you? What's big for Friday afternoon, right? Today's Friday?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
No, Saturday. No, it's Friday. Friday.
no wonder you're not answering. I'm not sure. Were you calling me? Rum Runner, how are you doing? What's going on? Nope. So everything you see today, either Gage will take or I will give to my oldest son. Like I said, I'm not one for patches. You know, I had to wear patches for years, and now I don't wear patches. So GunCon was good. It was a good day. Tomorrow will be a good day. We had an opportunity to meet a lot of influential people. We had a lot of opportunities to meet some really great manufacturers. And not only that, but to try out a lot of really cool products. Some things I liked more than others, but there's some things that surprised me, some companies that there's some companies that kind of struck me off guard, and we'll just leave it at that. I'll show you all later. I did see that actually, Ammo. I opened it for a split second, and you said you beat everybody you took with, but I didn't even have time to get into it in depth. I figured we'd do a live. We put up the one video. I'll shut this down at 7 o'clock and I'll call you. Actually, I'll probably watch your videos. I'm sure you got videos posted, right? So if you got videos posted, I'll watch them videos and then I'll give you a call if you want. But I'm trying to think, what product do you think surprised you the most today? I'm gonna say the Trinity pistols. Them were pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I still have a raging erection from that. I even offered the guy, I said, hey, I'll give you 2 CZ race guns and a Glock. And he chuckled, but he didn't ultimately take me up on the offer. We shot high points today, yep. So I can tell you this too. The high points people are buying today are not the high points people were buying, 15, 20 years ago. And I actually had a chance to talk with the guy for quite a while about them. And they're a great company. I can't knock them. Their stuff works. What do you think the best animal to hunt with a Ruger 1022? Small game. So I would say squirrels, woodchucks, possums, raccoons, rabbits. When I was a kid, on a farm, we had a lot of birds we would shoot, like starlings and stuff, but you probably shouldn't be shooting birds in the air. And I don't mean they were flying, but like in tree branches and stuff. It is a rifle. I shot a lot of rats with them, a lot of mice. So a lot of cats. I shouldn't admit that, but you know, farm life. You gotta get rid of cats sometimes. Um, and I'll be honest too. Like you could use a 22 for just about anything. Dispatching it, you just had to have a good headshot. You know, I mean, we shot, and I'm not saying this to be funny or cool or anything else, but there's dogs I had to shoot, there's pigs I shot, there's, you know, just about everything. Now, like a horse, which I had, you know, there's times I had to put them down, or cows. I would generally pick something bigger, but, you know, a 22 is a very, very versatile firearm. If you're talking dispatching animals, it's effective. You know, just like everything, it's placement. You know, you got to have a good shot on something. I used to prefer to hunt with my 22 for rabbits versus a shotgun, because you'd have one hole, and that was it. You didn't have a bunch of bird shots stuck in an animal. So, all right, Jay Sharp, you have a good night too, man. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Joe Kennedy, how are you doing? How's your day going? So, that Shaw barrels, they had some really cool 1022 barrels out there. There's a lot of really cool stuff. It's gonna take a little time to sit back and actually think about kind of everything we saw and take it all in. We shot the Century Arms. What is it? MP53, I think is what it's called. It's the 223 version. It looks like a MP5, but it's a 223. That was an interesting firearm. We had the chance to shoot some DSA arms, so the FAL style rifles. There's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of really cool stuff. So if y'all ever have an opportunity, a want or a will, I would recommend coming.
Me too.
So like yesterday we were even talking, like I don't know what we expected necessarily, but I was kind of not expecting what we had. I half expected or anticipated being like a little let down, and I was not let down. I was actually very impressed. John Patton, the host, he did an incredible job putting everything together. It was very professional. It was a great opportunity, and it was really a selfless act that he's doing to connect manufacturers directly to creators. We didn't pay for this. It cost us tolls, it cost us fuel, it cost us time, but it didn't cost us anything to get into his event. It didn't cost us anything to shoot. It didn't cost us anything to connect with these people. So that says something about who he is as a person, right? But we had a chance to chat with him briefly when we first got there, and we had a chance to chat with him a couple other times. You Carry Appendix just got a real holster, and my balls are so much happier. Spread the word. Gun and holsters, invest in both. No, I don't carry Appendix. I'm not a fan of pointing firearms at things. You know, the whole never point a firearm at anything you don't want to lose. I carry an in-waistband holster at roughly 4 o'clock. I've carried that same way for, you know, probably longer than you've been alive, and it works. It's fast. It's natural for me. We did meet a sponsor. We hung out with him quite a bit. Yep, see, there he is. Yeah, dude, he showed us some pictures, and we're gonna have to post something. But I don't know if you guys know, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but when Not a Sponsor hits his 1,000 subscribers, he is gonna put out a video in fishnet stockings, a pink thong, and Crocs. He's leaving it up to the viewers to decide what color fishnet stockings. I was into the black. I admit I was into the black. And after I see him today, I'm thinking white or red. Kind of like, yeah. The VKTRs, dude, they're hands down incredible firearms. They are incredible firearms. Great people, great products, and they performed. They shot, man. They were on point. It was effortless to make good hits. Yeah, Red shows off his leg hair. I can see that. I can see that. So if you guys aren't, I mean, if you're in here just kind of trolling or whatever, check out, obviously, everybody that's in here, right? Show support to all the other creators. You know, none of us are making a living at this yet. Probably never, because YouTube is communist bastards. But we do it just to share what we do, right? So show support to these other guys and let them know that people care. They want to watch their content. They want to share their footage. You know, want to sit and hang out with you when they load ammunition or drive home, or, you know, they're driving to work or whatever it is, man. You know, these are real people that are just generally good dudes that want to share, right? There's not a lot of people out there that are real and they're doing things just to share a passion or to connect. You know, that's kind of forgotten about. You know, people used to really get into like reality television. Now it's reality YouTube creators. You know, a lot of these people, they're in it for the money, man. They're in it for the fame. They're not shooters, or they're not real. They're 2A people, not gun people. I guess that's the way to say it. There's a difference. Absolutely, ammo's real. We actually had some good conversations about you today, so I hope your ears were ringing. It's a community, right? Preferred pistol or favorite to shoot. So that's a hard question when people start asking what your favorite firearm is, and I'll always ask the question back without giving an answer. It depends what I'm using the firearm for. So for concealed carry weapon, my personal defense weapon, it's just a Glock 26. It's the one you see. That's the third one I've owned. I've carried a Gen 3, a Gen 4, and a Gen 5 for, you know, almost 25 years. So I won't say I shoot them a lot, because I don't. They're carry guns. I shoot them enough to stay proficient, and that's about the best I can say with them. Let's see. I appreciate you, Chanson. Do you have a Glock? Nope, I would never own a Glock. It rhymes with cock, and the only cock that's going to be in my hand is mine and the truckers that's paying me $20. All good stuff. FV was showing me drawing what he thinks he was.
You realize Glock goes right on.
I did, dude. Ammo would be a sexy fucking gun bunny. We get him a little puffy tail. Get him the ears for his earmuffs. Get his knee-high socks and his shorts. Oh God, I'm telling you, we could.
Tight shorts.
We could. What's the word I want to use? Oh, I'm trying to think of how this would like not sound as dirty as it is. We could definitely take advantage of him for financial gain, because them cougars out there would go absolutely nut. They would be gushing. You would have to call a street sweeper in with a squeegee to clean up after them. That's how hot that would be. All right, gentlemen, on that note, I don't know that I want to continue this conversation anymore, because that's going to take a serious right turn from this point on. This is the exit. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to watch Ammo Alchemist's match footage from today. I would ask you all do the same thing. Obviously, you know, if you're new to the channel, then subscribe to the other guys that are here. Check out their channels. They're great people. For the guys who we always know, you're all subscribed to one another. But I do appreciate you. Yeah, cougars. Wow. Yeah, the cougars are hot. So we'll catch you guys later. I'll catch you on the next one. You guys have a good night. I appreciate all of you. Bye.